presented to me. Very easy to make that call, because the last thing that we need in Washington is more spending and more debt and more taxes. It's killing this country. If you look at the corporate income tax rate in this country as it relates to other countries across the world, there's no wonder that we're losing jobs here hand over fist, and they're fleeing overseas to China and to India. There's no question that it's those reckless fiscal policies that have resulted in Jay Jennings over there. He works at one of the manufacturing plants here in Southside Virginia. I look at him and I think, if we keep on the current course, if we keep voting for capital policies, if we keep voting for health care regulations, government takeover of health care, those jobs that are left, those manufacturing jobs that are left in this country are going to move. And I believe that with all my heart. We've got to stop dead in its tracks. And I truly believe that. And how is it that I came about to run? Of course, Virgil was one of us. Virgil believed in fiscal responsibility. Virgil believed in all the things that we believed in, and we were devastated when he decided that he was not going to run again. And my wife, Kathy, and I sat down and we had to make a decision about whether or not we could do this. And we decided that we could, for the sake of our children. It was a difficult decision because of our children, but I believe, like I think all the other candidates believe, that the future for our children is going to be significantly diminished if we continue down this course. And Tom Perriello voted for the stimulus the so-called stimulus bill, $787 billion, of what I think is walking around with. He's voted to send the Guantanamo Bay prisoners back to this country. He voted for cap and trade, and as I said before, the cap and trade bill is a job killer. There is no way that you can have lived in the 5th District for the last 10, 20 years and watched jobs evaporate here and have voted for that bill. There's no way that you could have witnessed and lived through what we've lived through and voted for a bill that is a sure job killer. Healthcare, government takeover healthcare, the exact same, the same thing. It is a job killer. And for those reasons, I decided that this was a step that we had to take. And so I'm proud to be a candidate. I will tell you, I'm proud to stand among a number of good candidates, six or seven of us now. I like to say 5 good men and 1 good woman. And I believe that at the end of the day, we all believe the same things at heart. And I think we probably all share those things. So then the question becomes, who is best equipped to be able to beat Tom Perriello? Because if you think it's going to be easy, it may look easy because of the votes that he's taken. But if you think it's going to be easy, I think you're mistaken. It's not going to be easy. He's got $700,000 in the bank. He raised $700,000 for re-election. He will have, and if you want to know why he went into the corner with Nancy Pelosi and Charlie Rangel right before the health care vote, that handshake, that backslapping was an assurance that the National Democrats, Obama, Charlie Rangel, Nancy Pelosi, are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that he gets reelected. Because he took one for the team. Even though he didn't care about us back home, he took one for the team. And that will be repaid. And he will be a very difficult opponent. And so we have got to make sure that we nominate the best person, the best candidate to run against him. And I believe I'm the person.
Time up.
Time up?
I can give you an additional 5 minutes for questions.
Okay. Have an answer.
What have you ever done besides being a public servant and a couple of years of lawyering?
Well, I was I guess about 15 years ago, went to law, after I finished law school, so I've been practicing law for about 15 years. Was a prosecutor for about 4 years, wonderful job, and then I went into private practice, helping my clients get through situations, helping build businesses, helping do their wills and estates and that sort of thing. I'm a citizen legislator, and I'm proud of that. And I think that we need to get back to that in this country. I go to Richmond 2 months a year, and I'm proud. And my parents taught me, like I know that many of your parents taught you, probably all of your parents taught you, that it is expected that you give back to your community, if you're able, in those ways that you're able. And this is something that I have been proud to be able to do is to play my part in community service. And at the same time, be a member of the community. I live a block from my house, from my office, and have a very active law practice. And so that's my background. Yes, sir.
We probably wouldn't be here tonight, one for the fact that we did a terrible job with the college kids, UVPA and the colleges around, that's what beat us. We're in plan to deal with college, young Republicans and so forth, organize them as well?
Absolutely.
As the Democrats do?
Absolutely. Certainly our campaign, we totally have begun organizing on college campuses. There are a number of them, of course, in the 5th District. I'm proud to go to Hampton City, where there's a real active college Republican group there. But we want to spread that around, and also using these handheld things. You know, it seems like the young people today, that's how they communicate. And certainly we intend to get our message out that way.
That's where we failed last time.
I think so. I think we could have made us a difference. Yes, ma'am.
Tort reform.
Well, I think tort reform is very important. I think it's also worth noting that in Virginia we have a very conservative state as it relates to tort reform. One of the things that I think that I was proud to work for was a bill that required before the reason tort reform is important is because of healthcare costs, of course, and other costs, business costs. But healthcare costs is one that comes up a whole lot. And you think about the malpractice insurance premium that has to be paid by doctors in order to keep doors open. And one of the bills that I was proud to work on and support a couple of years ago that I think really has had good effect has been was the bill that required that an expert certify that there is an expert opinion that supported the plaintiff's case before the case got filed. The idea is not to necessarily keep people who ought to be able to go to court from going to court and if they had wrong done to them, be able to address it. But the point is to focus on the junk lawsuits. And I think it was an extremely effective way, and I was proud to support that. And I think that across this country, especially in places that we read about Mississippi and Arkansas and places like that, where the tort system is just totally run amok, it does. It drives the cost of health care up for all of us. Even those of us in Virginia, where I think we have a very good conservative system. And I agree. Yes, sir.
Those senators and delegates who voted against that tax increase, were they irresponsible?
I think that in my humble judgment, that tax increase, much as I hate it, was the fiscally responsible thing to do. And not the tax increase itself, but avoiding the government shutdown. I think that was driving me to that. And I think we had a very irresponsible situation. There's no question that we had gotten ourselves, after 6 months of staring down the aisle, down the hallway at each other, for 6 months it was ridiculous that we couldn't get our business done. And that's the way people felt back home. You know, they said, "What are you idiots doing down there? Why can't you work this thing out?" And that
I
was
think every town, liberals and Democrats or whoever the big spenders happen to be, in effect, put a gun to their head or engage in extortion like that we should take into.
No, I don't. And I think that this was a unique situation for a couple of reasons. One was that the governor did something that was, he had embedded the tax increase into the initial budget, which had never been done before, and I think was probably unconstitutional. But the other thing is, and I liken this to the situation, or liken this to Walker.